Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today as we take a look at the astrological energies from April 16th until April 23rd. We're entering into a power period here in the second half of April. We are moving through the eclipse cycle, and now all planets are direct. As Venus stationed direct back on April 12th, that was Saturday, all planets are direct now until May 4th, May 5th, when Pluto stations retrograde at 3 degrees 49 minutes of Aquarius. So this is now a period of time when we are gaining new understandings of what's worth our energy, what is important and necessary for you to take care of, as well as perhaps feeling like now you're ready to step into some of the new endeavors that have been postponed or held back, especially during the first quarter of this year. 2025 is meant to be intense. This is a phase of our evolution that is transitioning us into new versions of ourselves. And that means we have to be very clear and real in what needs to end and unravel from our energy systems. There can be a lot of discomfort in the changes, tension, uncertainty. All of that is going to continue throughout this year and into 2026. So what we are meant to work with is how we deal with it, what comes up in ourselves that we are feeling and sensing, how to approach our energy, relate and connect to ourselves in a way that enhances our self-love, our self-compassion, our ability to remember that we have so many tools to work with, and that this is a time period that's actually quite exciting, even though it can also be exhausting, overwhelming, uncertain, and depleting. We have strong Pisces energies still in the mix, which I will be discussing here shortly. And when there is a lot of Pisces energy, we can feel tired more easily, almost like we just have ongoing fatigue. It can be harder to concentrate or to know what to focus on. I actually did a very informal survey with my 7 closest friends and asked them how they were feeling. Each one was feeling the same. Each one was feeling the intensity of this time, especially after the eclipses have moved through officially, yet we're still in the rollout of eclipse energy. So we're still moving through these cycles of change that aren't going to go away. And over this next week, there is an intensification on what needs to change, on what needs to basically be broken in order for that breakthrough to show up and arrive. Now, in addition to all planets direct now, we also have the Saturn in Pisces sextiling Uranus in Taurus. This is supporting us in moving ahead. This is where we can sense the newness, the excitement that Uranian energy carries, reminding us that there is more to come and that it's our duty right now to make space for what we want to manifest and create next. And the Saturn in Pisces, working with Venus throughout the rest of this month, is also conjunct the North Node in Pisces right now at 26 degrees. Now, this is a rare cycle of Saturn conjunct the North Node, and it's bringing to our attention what we agreed to end and close out in this lifetime, where you have fulfilled an area of growth, responsibility, and commitment that you might recognize in yourself and truly feel that it's done for you. But what I'm seeing here is that because the Pisces energies are so open, they are the energies of no boundaries, no structure, no walls. You could be feeling that there is a leak through or blending of energies from other timelines that are infringing on your ability to complete and end something in this reality. So this would be an important time here with Saturn conjunct the North Node in Pisces to fully declare that you now end something, whatever it is for you, across all lifetimes, all timelines, and all dimensions of time for the best and highest good of all. That you are activating your sovereign power in determining what is complete for you because you have fulfilled it. Whether this is karma, healing, soul lessons, it almost doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you want to describe it. It's simply declaring that it's complete for you without going into a story or thinking that you have to fully understand it. The Pisces energy are not about the logic, reasoning, or rationale of something. Rather, it's you saying, this is done for me. I am now full and complete for the best and highest good of my soul's journey, and I am moving forward, taking the best of these experiences with me to improve myself and to keep growing. And then that Saturn says, great, thank you for this information. We will process your request in 3 to 5 business days. We appreciate you filing this. And then you are essentially declaring at an energetic level that you're ready to transition to that next level choice, experience, and beginning point. And this is to be taken seriously. I mean, I know my Saturn voice right there was ridiculous, but we're meant to take this seriously and to be very honest with ourselves, brutally honest with ourselves, because there's a self-reflection here that only you know about. Only you, your energy, your emotional body, your mind, your spirit, your soul knows. And Venus is here as well. Venus is bringing in your personal self-worth, your self-love, your value system, and then, of course, all the Venus areas that are affected by this conjunction to Saturn and the North Node. I've been talking about the Pisces stellium throughout April. There was a separate podcast for you on that topic. Plus, last Monday's podcast was on Venus stationing direct. So there's more information in those shows if you want to catch up or give them a listen. But this is a very serious time for matters of the heart, matters of creativity, matters of self-confidence, self-value, connections, and what you truly want in your life. Now, with Saturn conjunct the North Node, this could also bring up where you need to decline, say no, step back, cancel. This isn't correct for me. I've learned this lesson, or I don't want any more of this in my life. Keep in mind that Saturn conjunct the North Node means that it's also opposite that South Node at 26 degrees of Virgo. And so Saturn opposing the South Node is a turning point in Virgo matters, a challenge, something outside of your perceived control that's happening that is most likely being closed out or phased out. And just to add to all the cosmic fun, this is working with that Virgo lunar degree point from March, from just about a month ago, March 13th and 14th, when we had that Virgo lunar eclipse at 24 degrees of Virgo. Well, now here's Saturn saying, yeah, this is over. This needs to change. This isn't performing well. And that is something that Saturn assesses. What is working well for you and what is not? Where do you need to change something to get a new result? And that will be felt in the Virgo areas of your chart, which relate to your daily habits and routines, your lifestyle choices, how energy works in your mind and your body, what is serving you, what is not serving you, what is healthy and what is not healthy. It could be a realization that maybe you're too much in your head and you're not in your body enough. And so your body isn't healthy. Your body is screaming at you for attention, for healing, for new support systems. The Virgo mind is very strong, but is the body keeping up? Is the body part of that synergistic connection? So Saturn conjunct the North Node at 26 degrees is hitting and working with not only that Virgo lunar eclipse point, but is traveling with Venus. And so we're understanding that this is a time to make changes based on loving myself more. Loving myself more, making that a priority, understanding that's where my true control is. And that I can't control everything. I certainly can't control matters that are way too big in the world, or overwhelming, but I can make these choices today that are good for me and support my own growth and what I really want in my life. I feel that that's one of the beautiful expressions here of this Venus conjunct Saturn conjunct the North Node. What do you really want in your life? And allow this powerful conjunction to magnetize it in and to pull it in, even if it's just in a dream or out there in the ethers. Saturn is our real world and how we have structured our life. And so you might have some understandings of what has served a purpose, what is meant to be phased out so that that next level reality can come in. And it's connected to Venus, and it's connected to more of what you love and cherish. And remember, it's working with Uranus in Taurus, which is unexpected developments and breakthroughs, surprises, good surprises, happy surprises that allow the developments to unfold and to blossom. So all of that is going on now and into the second half of April. Now, we do have a mental shift occurring here on April 16th as Mercury re-enters Aries after the retrograde and has an immediate conjunction to Neptune in Aries at 0 degrees for the first time ever in our lives. This is exact on April 16th and 17th. So Mercury is now being flooded with these bright, pure, clear energies of Neptune and Aries, bringing in new downloads for what to do next and how to move going forward. Keep in mind that this Neptune in Aries is ruling these planets that I just discussed in Pisces. So Neptune is saying it's time for a new chapter. It's time for a new start. Let bygones be bygones. The past is closed. Those energies are over. You can't go back to a previous version of yourself. Your consciousness won't allow it. And there's nothing for you in that direction anyways. It's time for a fresh start. And this conjunction to Mercury brings in the downloads here that shift your mental state into new dreams, new potentials, new whimsical, crazy adventures that have that, well, what if quality? And that's because the Aries energy is hopeful, aspirational, and enthusiastic. So there's a sense here of what if this wild, crazy thing could develop? What if something that seems impossible could show up and happen? So there's an expansiveness here to this energy that the mind doesn't always know how to grasp. In fact, the Neptune in Aries floods the mercurial abilities, which can feel very ungrounded and too idealistic. But the downloads are meant to happen. Mercury is meant to receive new inspirations and even new understandings with this conjunction to Neptune in Aries at 0 degrees. 0 degrees is a powerful degree point because it's the point of pure creation in the zodiac wheel. And in Aries, it's meant to move forward. It's meant to get something going. Now, keep in mind, Neptune is very slow moving. Neptune in Aries is not a fast moving energy at all. It takes Neptune about 18 months to move across a single degree point. It's a very slow ebb and flow of energies. So even though it's in Aries, people think, oh, it's time to get moving. It's time to dash out the door. Neptune doesn't bring about quick results, but it can have you reviewing your intentions and what you want to create. So there is certainly a slowdown with this Neptune in Aries energy. So Mercury returns to the fire sign of Aries. Then we also have Mars returning to the fire sign of Leo on April 18th. This is when Mars finally gets to dry off after 3.5 months in Cancer. Mars now gets to be in the light and the warmth of that Leo energy, feels renewed, inspired, and is reconnecting with his courage to go forward. The healthy Leo energy is in the heart space. It's in the ability to be courageously yourself, stand powerful in your light and your gifts, and understand that that's what you're here to offer and shine. There can be the opening in the heart space that also encompasses that solar plexus and brings in a strong sense of self, personal power, will, power, and desire to move forward and create something that matters. Mars is regaining his energy here, but of course we have to acknowledge that he's in for a few important checkpoints as he moves ahead. The first will happen through a square to the Sun in Taurus. Now, the Sun enters Taurus on April 19th at 3:56 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the Sun in Taurus will square Mars in Leo. We also have Mars in Leo trining Neptune in Aries at 0 degrees at the same time. So let me break this down a bit. We're going to have these 3 planets all at 0 degrees. Sun in Taurus, Mars in Leo, Neptune in Aries. 3 of them at the 0 degree point of pure potential, bringing in a focus on your intention and what you're ready to reset and do differently. That's very important, especially for Mars, because Mars has just been through this intense retrograde journey. Took him back to his childhood, back to his messy emotions, took him into the basement to look at antiques and things he didn't want to sit with, took him into the attic to understand more about where he came from, his ancestors, what's been going on in his energy lineage. Mars has been in a space that has brought him into more of his emotions with the intention of owning and operating with greater maturity in regards to his emotional world, to trust himself more, to not push away the uncomfortable stuff, but rather know that he's equipped to feel it, honor it, and deal with it. So now as he re-enters Leo, he's got to strengthen up, but he also has to know when to be softer, and that isn't a weakness. Rather, that's allowing himself to fully integrate divine feminine, divine masculine energies inside himself and to trust more of his fullness. So here he has a trine now from Neptune and Aries, which can assist with a bigger spiritual awakening, but it could also flood out his ego. If he hasn't matured or grown, if he's still trying to do the same tactics or be the same way, if there's a part of this Mars in Leo that's too grandiose, too selfish, or too limited in his perspectives, this Neptune in Aries is going to flood him with compassion and say, remember who you came here to be and look at how far you've come. This is about a rebirth and a renewal. It's not about further activating previous parts of self. So the trine from Neptune and Aries can be very creative and uplifting if Mars honors the reset. At the same time, the square from the Sun in Taurus is a push, and it's a push that can spark anger, outbursts. In the physical world, it can be collisions, accidents, physical breakages in the body, explosions, arguments. You get the idea. But going higher with the Sun in Taurus squaring Mars in Leo can be a creative breakthrough that is a revelation in the patterns that are no longer needed, the patterns that he has outgrown, and understanding that I'm not that version of myself anymore. I actually now carry and embody a new higher self-love and self-worth. And I feel that the Sun in Taurus squaring this Mars in Leo can lead to that creative combustion point that allows a new option, a third choice, or something else to be developed that would not have been otherwise seen, right? This is very much the energy of a force of wills, because that Sun isn't going to back down. Even though Mars in Leo is going to be feeling stronger, the Sun doesn't back down either. So there's a lack of compromise. There's a desire to get one's way. But if you can acknowledge, for example, in a relationship, that you each want something and you don't want to compromise, and you don't want to give in, well, instead of turning it into an argument, what you can do is just say, okay, let's just agree to see what else can form from this without pushing it or shoving it, and allow for an amazing creative development to occur. So that's the higher way of using this Sun squaring Mars. But of course, I've got to be real with you. The energy continues into next week and through most of April because of the upcoming Mars-Pluto opposition that will be exact April 26th and also in play for the Taurus new moon on April 27th. So as soon as Mars and the Sun change signs this weekend, something's going to come to your awareness that has tension. It's uncomfortable. It could have a power struggle to it. You could realize you don't want to budge. You don't want to give in. You don't want to do it their way. It's your way and the highway. That's what everyone is saying with this particular energy. But I feel that trine from Neptune and Aries is the doorway that opens the new path. And as I look at each of these energies, Neptune and Aries, Sun and Taurus, Mars and Leo, there is a strong theme here of self-reliability, independence, maybe going your own way or doing something on your own terms that you didn't think you would have to do or didn't think you would have to choose. But that Neptune and Aries is saying, actually, you can handle this on your own. You don't need that person or these people or this situation as much as you thought you did. And that's where the Neptune trust comes in as well. And hopefully it diffuses anything that is too intense or too much. But regardless of what unfolds, there is movement here. There is change afoot. The shift is going to hit the fan, and there will be breaking points as well. Now, it's interesting because as I say that, part of what I'm seeing around what is breaking is related to the ongoing infusion of galactic energies that are coming onto the planet, how we are evolving into more multidimensional beings. And in order to do so, we have to be willing to break outdated patterns and programming. And as I say that, I'm seeing this as one of those old DOS computers with the black screen and the green letters, and that there are parts of ourselves that are stuck in old coding, old patterns. And what's coming up for us is about our individual and collective evolution that is not comfortable. It is not easy. It brings us to our own breaking points. It brings us into greater awareness of what no longer serves us so that we can consciously close it out. Of course, we're on a planet here of free will. You can choose whatever the hell you want to choose. You can go whatever direction you want to go. But at this level of consciousness that we're in, there's a part of your self-awareness that knows the higher path, knows where to guide you that will pay off and basically lead to more of what you want in this lifetime. And so there's a part of you that wants to experience a breakdown. So I say that and then I realize, should I say that? But just trust it for yourself if it resonates or not. Trust if there's a part of you that is ready for this deep level change based on what no longer serves you. And you're realizing, I want that to go. I want that to leave. And as you do so, you're also receiving more of these, I'm seeing it as galactic codes coming in that upgrade our consciousness to see new potentials that we would never have connected with. I'm also feeling, and this actually feels really good, that these energies are working with our nervous systems to trust the deep cycles of change that this year is instigating. There's a lot here that is coming up, a lot of catalysts, a lot of developments and activations that are taking us out of comfort zones. And I'm feeling like this energy is supporting our nervous systems and our minds. Now, of course, trust if that resonates for you or not. And what I'm also hearing is to ask. Ask for guidance and assistance to anything you need that will support your well-being during these big times. Just on a personal note, one thing that's come up for me is that I've been offline for most of this month. I haven't been on the socials or online very much. Of course, I do my work and I do my videos and my podcast. So I'm here for those parts of my work life, but my personal life, 80% of my life has been offline for the past month, and it's been so incredible. Just the space it's opened up, especially for me to be with my loved ones, with my friends, with people who matter, to be in person. It's been this huge redirect that I've had during this eclipse season that has just been so awesome. So there's been other things that have shown up as well. So what I'm saying is that ask for the support you need and then look at what arises for you. If there's any recommendations that comes from friends, if there's any suggestions or things you should try or places you should go, stay open to those messages, especially if they're raising your energy, because it could be exactly what you're looking for to navigate more of the cosmic roller coaster that is 2025. 2025 is meant to break old systems. It's meant to have these breakdowns in what is not connected to our evolutionary journey, as well as what is not in alignment with the potentials of your life. And so that can also bring us all into survival. That is our default programming. We go into these primal parts of ourselves, but you might also realize, I don't need that anymore. I don't need that habit. I don't need that thought. I don't even need that belief system. I'm good. I'm safe. I've got this. I can handle it. And I know that I'm going to have what I need to go forward. So you might also feel that shift this week as well. So when we're looking at all of these intense energies meeting up and creating these squares and the upcoming opposition, there is something within you that's meant to collapse and break, because there are new energies coming forward here that are going to take their space and support you going forward. The galactic energies are very present, and the ones that I feel and connect to are benevolent. They are here to assist humanity. They're here to offer us new understandings. They are the galactics that showed us what was going on underneath the pyramid in Giza. And there's going to be even more revelations that become widespread news. And I don't just mean space tourism marketing stunts. I mean real things that actually matter to humanity and to what's possible for us at this time. Now, Sunday, April 20th is the Easter holiday. Easter is based on the lunar calendar. It's a practice that was established back in 325 AD when a group of bishops came together to determine how believers around the world would all be on the same page in establishing the Easter holiday. Easter is, here's the formula, Easter is the first Sunday after the first full moon after the spring equinox. Let me do that in reverse. There's a spring equinox, then the full moon, whenever the full moon might be, then it's the first Sunday after that. And then you have to take into account the Palm Sunday and when Passover begins. Basically, the point being, Easter is based on the lunar calendar, and so that's why the date varies every year. Easter this year has some beautiful astrological aspects, with Venus in Pisces sextiling Uranus in Taurus, and Mercury in Aries sextiling Pluto in Aquarius. Both of these sextiles are occurring between the personal planets and an outer planet. That holds more significance for us at a daily level, at a personal level. There's great creativity here. It could even be a good time for socializations, gatherings. I know they have those all over the Easter weekend anyways. But regardless of what you celebrate or don't celebrate, the astrology highlights connections, socializing, doing something new and different, and being aware of how much you've shifted and grown over the past few months. Truly, you could look back to February, which might seem like a very long time ago now, and understand that these energies have been working with you at a very deep cellular level, and you're really feeling the changes now. Also important to note that for both Venus in Pisces and Mercury in Aries, this is the third time each planet has interacted with these outer planets. So we've been moving through a process of understanding more of what we need, what our values are, and what we want. Also, the confidence to declare what you want and what you need. And that could be a theme or an energy you're feeling more now as well. So there's a lot going on over the weekend. And then when we move into the middle of next week, we're going to see that Sun in Taurus square Pluto in Aquarius at 3 degrees 48 minutes. That's exact on April 23rd. Keep in mind that Pluto in Aquarius is basically standing still right now. Pluto is hanging out here at this degree point and this minute point and digging in to something important for each of us to face and understand. Pluto will station retrograde at 3 degrees 49 minutes, so he's only 1 minute away from his retrograde point. Got to throw that out there for all of you who like the specifics in the astrology. But essentially, Pluto is at a standstill. He's not officially retrograde, but he's hanging out here. And if you have planets or points, especially at 3 to 4 degrees of the fixed signs, you are feeling it. You are feeling it because Pluto is requiring you to make changes, to be in a state of courageous evolution. And yet those fixed signs resist it, push it away, don't want it, and might not truly open up to it until there's no other way to go, no other direction to go. So as the Sun in Taurus squares Pluto in Aquarius, the middle of the week, you might have an understanding of what is not working for you, where you keep hitting your head on a brick wall or you're meeting resistance and there's no openings. The Sun squaring Pluto can be power struggles and control dynamics, just as I talked about with the Sun squaring Mars. But Mars in Leo can be the hothead that gets angry, has the outburst, does all the things. Pluto isn't that way. A square between the Sun and Pluto is about matters operating deeper in our being, deeper in our subconscious, that's connected to how we think it should be. Aquarius is fixed air. So it's the energy of the vision, what you want for your future, where you're directing your mental energy forward to an outcome, a development, something that matters to you. And Pluto is saying it can't just be about a limited perception or limited outcome. Is it based on who you really are? Does it include the authenticity of who you really are? And that is one of the main themes of this Pluto in Aquarius. It's bringing up our own internal authentic frequencies and saying, who did I come here to be? Because I also feel like I'm not meant to be here, or I'm not from this place. I'm from other galaxies and other planets. This is where a lot of star seeds are going to be stepping forward and guiding people into new understandings of their authentic frequencies. This is the role of astrology, numerology, human design, all of these modalities that help you get clearer on who you truly are at an energetic level. And the beauty in that, the beauty in the differences and in the diversity. So I feel that this particular square between the Sun and Pluto energy, you would look at the two houses in your chart where you have 3 degrees of Taurus and 3 degrees of Aquarius. They are coming to a head and bringing up a part of yourself that maybe you haven't been willing to evolve or change. And Pluto says, too bad, so sad, you got to do it anyways. The Pluto energy is requiring an evolution that the Sun in Taurus is not meant to resist. And this energy continues into the Taurus new moon on April 27th. There's an intensification of energies that start this weekend and continue to play out in the second half of April. We will see it on the world stage and in the collective. There can be ongoing escalations and power struggles where neither side wants to back down or compromise. There can be extremism, more polarization and division, but in the higher realms, there is something right on time that you are meant to break down, to break through. Just to use a highly overused statement here, this is where you are meant to bust through a part of your old programming or your old version of self that isn't meant to go forward, isn't going to support you going forward, and now allow yourself into the discomfort of the unknown. That is exactly where your soul is waiting for you to take the reins and move things forward. There's a lot of courage needed here when I look at these energies in the fixed signs, because there's a lot of discomfort. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of power dynamics and things that we usually want to avoid or bypass. But this is basically a master class of sitting in powerful energies that will lead you to a new creative breakthrough, realization, and even a life change. The first Mars-Pluto opposition was back in the beginning of November 2024. The second opposition was the beginning of January of this year. And each time we've been discussing these energies, it's highlighted a life change. Life-changing developments that are right on time, pushing you into more of yourself, asking you to look at your fears, your shadow, parts of yourself you didn't see before, what has been unclaimed in your conscious self-identity, what has maybe been wounded or fractured and pushed away, parts of ourselves that have been limited or small, parts of ourselves that maybe have been operating from that unhealed inner child or operating from over-identification with the ego. I'm just throwing out a bunch of things here in case any of them resonate for you. But know that this is meant to be a life-changing redirect into more of our multidimensional expressions and experiences that we wouldn't be able to connect with otherwise. The old systems and programs need to collapse. It's right on time, but that pertains to each of us as well. The old versions of ourselves that we've outgrown and can no longer hide, those parts of ourselves are meant to be fully faced and seen. So the energy continues on. It is intense. It is significant. As always, prioritize your well-being and what is best for your energy, because being in our full sovereign power is one of the best gifts we can give ourselves at this time. It's also a beautiful time to continue to flood the planet with the higher frequencies, whether that occurs when you're in your meditation, before you go to sleep, or through a simple visualization. The more that we can see the planet being flooded in the higher frequencies of compassion, love, harmony, and peace, the more we are intentionally influencing this evolutionary time. Oh, and on that note, some of you have asked about the new guided meditations I've offered. Yes, they are free. No strings attached. They're called Soul Bliss Guided Meditations. You can get them on the website. There are 4 of them here, ranging from 5 minutes to I think 21 minutes. Each one has a different focus, but that is my way of offering you something that returns you to yourself, returns you to your own soul's brilliance and wisdom at this time, as well as helping us become more intuitive beings, to trust our intuition and to operate from these parts of ourselves more effortlessly. So you can find it on my website, and I just hope that you enjoy them and that they are good for your energy during these very big times. Next week, we will continue to discuss the Mars-Pluto opposition, as well as the upcoming Taurus new moon, which will be at 7 degrees, 47 minutes of Taurus in your chart. I'll be sharing some videos on YouTube this weekend, so please check out my YouTube channel, as well as all the free videos there in the playlists. You can find all of my current offerings at mollymccord.online. And as always, I'll be back every Monday and Wednesday for a new podcast offering. Wishing you a beautiful journey ahead and hoping that you're feeling beautiful creative breakthroughs as we work with these dynamic energies. Take good care, and I'll see you back here soon.